What up, dogs? Oh, it's just me, baby. It's just me. Oh, my puppy started. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Wife's out of town, so I'm sitting here on my couch. Got the football game up there. Looks like Oregon is probably going to lose, most likely to Indiana, which is pretty cool. I did see Tennessee looked like they got out with a win against Eastern Washington. No, it's Mississippi got out with a win against Eastern Washington. And then Georgia and Auburn are playing today. So we got to go for Auburn. All right. My boy is going to be at that game. That's kind of cool. And Charlotte and my other boy are visiting Maddie in San Diego. And anyway, so it's just me and the pups. And we got my harem. My harem's here. My harem of dogs. We have Yang. What the hell? I don't understand what you're saying. We have Yang Hassan China. Please don't deport him. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Gotcha. Harry in Oklahoma's here. What up, Harry? Cheesehead! What's up, Big Eric? Why you change your name from Eric to Cheesehead? All right, Pulverizer's here, of course, talking up Pink Floyd. At this point, I feel the U.S. government is no better than the CCP. Well, maybe, but I'll take our way of life over China any day of the week. Oh, there you go. Look at that white guy getting the freaking pick. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Watch this. There it is. Oh, Whitey linebacker getting the pick. My Blazers drafted a center from China named Yang Hansen. Lots of upsets in college football today. Really? Like what? I mean, I saw Florida State going down. Chuck B in the house. Who's the other upset, man? I didn't see too many other upsets. This is why we needed a playoff some day one. Because, again, the SEC always had the upper hand. Always. And they always say, well, the SEC beats itself up. And as such, it's not fair because they're such a dominant conference. I mean, this year they're winning their out-of-conference games without question. I can't remember if last year they did or not. I just can't remember. But there's a streak of a couple years there. The SEC was not winning their I think they're going like 500 against out-of-conference teams. Oklahoma. No, I thought Oklahoma. Oh, Oklahoma did lose. Oregon game's not over yet, man. I mean, I know they're down by 10 with 2 minutes to go, but, in this day and age let's just put it this way, fair college games with lots of money on the riding, anything could happen. Yeah, Oklahoma lost to Texas. That was pretty good to see. Harry, what do you think about that? You wanted Oklahoma to win or Texas? Or they haven't lost. Dude, why do you guys I'm watching the game right now. It's not over yet. Oh, boy. Wisconsin Badger. Yeah, dude, I need Wisconsin to step up. Killing me, man. Killing me. I need Wisconsin to step up. I mean, they got so many whiteys, dude. You got to go for Wisconsin, but they're just not able to get the job done. This Moonbay's calling right on, man. Right on. Anyway, so and here's Georgia right here. They'll play it against Auburn. It would be sweet to see Auburn pull off a upset. Even though I do like Georgia, but at the end of the day, it would be sweet to see Auburn pull off the upset. And as such, and Alabama just barely beat Missouri. This guy posted an old thing of the old Big 12, Missouri, Texas A&M, just all these teams that used to be in the old Oklahoma, Nebraska. It was the old Big 12, man. Remember Texas, Nebraska, Oklahoma? What a rivals, man. Mike Rozier against what's his name, Jamil Holloway and J.C. Watts. I can't remember and he played for Texas. I just can't remember. But it's like Texas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. Just in that. Oh, it is so fancy. Are Georgia Peaches the best? Yes, Iowa is this channel's favorite team. Exactly. Man, you guys are freaking, man, you guys are writing checks your butt might not be able to cash, man. Until the game's over, until the fat lady sings, I would not be cashing that check yet. I don't know. I don't know if Georgia Peaches are the best, but I know Leonard Skinner's got a song about Georgia Peaches. They're sweet, my Georgia Peach. Hook 'em horns. Yep. Nebraska left the Big 12 because they got tired of losing to Texas. Yep. The Big 12 was great. Yeah, except they all play on that stupid AstroTurf, man. I hated that. I can't tell you how much I despise that freaking AstroTurf. Oh, it's just it's like that freaking pale green. I hate it. Now they're putting all the NFL teams are putting all domes everywhere. Chicago's gonna have a dome. I think Buffalo is still trying to have an outdoor stadium. I think Buffalo's still gonna have an outdoor stadium. Chicago wants a dome. There's another team that wants a dome. And Cleveland, I think, wants a dome, and there's another one too. It's like I freaking hate it, man. No, you can come up. You know, you can go get your own toy. You can go get your own toy. The clock's running. Oh, wait a second. Third down, buddy. You can go get. Look, Pablo's got a toy. You can get your own toy. No. You come on up. Come on. I know Pablo. Anyway, so I'm sitting here. We got the game on. Lots of injuries because of turf. Yeah, 100%. No, I'm in my house, dude. Place looks commercial in my house. Now I did watch a video, Harry. The guy said comparing turf to grass. The guy says he said if you actually look, it's not as significant as you would think. The turf to grass injuries. And I don't know that to be true. It's hard to imagine turf would not be more injurious or whatever that word is. But 1:17 left, 3rd and 17. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nike University. Nike University. My apartment is a shithole. How dare you? Domes can have, yeah, well, that's exactly right. Domes can have non-sport. That's exactly 100%. The dome, that's what they want. They want concerts. They want non-sports events. And I freaking hate it. I just hate it. I mean, football should be played outside on grass, 100%, man. And people should be muddy. They should be dirty. And they shouldn't play on freaking turf. It's ugly. It sucks. And I hate it. And this is why the NFL is going to be doomed, because these freaking NFL owners, you know, they have the monopoly free thing at baseball, you know what I'm saying? And as such, at least baseball is going back to smaller stadiums on grass. But frankly, I just don't care that much about baseball anymore. It's great. I don't really care that much about football anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. When my son Liam is when he's living out of the house, I mean, literally, it's the first, oh yeah, hey, Indiana is going to win now. It looks like they're in the formation. All right, sweet. When my son's out of the house, I mean, this is the first time I turn on football all day. I mean, I've checked the sports. I got Yahoo, sports just to see who's winning, but I just don't watch anymore. I just don't really care. It's funny. As I get older, I just care less. Liam I'll watch the Falcons, because we like the Falcons together. But other than that, I'm just like, whatever. Our Ducks they're about to lose now, man. Yep. 49 seconds left. And, they're done. So that's sweet. I love the fact that it's such a wild west of college football. I follow it. I just don't watch. I got other things to do, like hang out with you guys. Anyway, so I love the watching this stuff, because I love the fact that we now have all these teams that are, all have a chance. I think it's fun. Whereas again, the SEC before, why would anyone watch Atlanta? Why would anyone watch Atlanta? Hey. Knucklehead, big mouth. You're a band fast, Eddie. The older I get, the less TV I watch. Man, 100%, Harry. The problem, I don't know about you guys. The problem I have is I actually like to read, but I'm doing stuff. I'm moving around. You can't really read while you're moving around. You know what I'm saying? And me too. I just watched the highlights on YouTube. Me too, Chris. 100%. I had to argue with a douchebag over you being a good guy in ties. What was he saying? Oh, man, Tennessee's up. Damn, I was hoping they lost that game. Bark, work, bark, exactly. But anyway, so I also like to listen to stuff, but I find that I don't really care what people have to say anymore. Like, I like Jason Whitlock. I'll listen to him every day because he talks sports and politics, which I like. I listen to Clay Travis. Okay. But I just don't really care. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't want to, but I like to read, but you can't really read when you're doing the dishes and stuff. And Frank, I don't listen to that much music anymore. It's weird, man. I find myself just very, look at this guy. That is too cute. Oh my goodness. Could you be any cuter, babe? Finney. Oh man. But I just find myself like, I listen to Jason Whitlock, I listen to Clay Travis, and other than that, I just don't really care that much. I listen, Gavin McGinnis is on YouTube now, back finally, and I listen to some of him. But other than that, I'm just like, and so the problem is I like to read, but to read, you got to sit down there and read. You see what I'm saying? And you're up and about. You're like, and I'll put, like, I was listening to some metal here today while I was in the working out, but it's weird, man. Yeah, I know that guy, 100% Kirk. I was like, come on, man. It's like, it's not biblical. It's like, dude, I hate it. I hate that. I hate that. Listen to Pink Floyd. You'll never be listening to music. You'll love listening to music again. I hate that, dude. 100% Kirk. It drives me crazy. I mean, just, tithing isn't biblical, Josh. Don't you know? And I'm like, oh. And then he's like, you're preaching false gospel or false doctrine or something like that. I think I commented back. I said, look, man, I know you don't give enough. You need to give more, because only people would say that would say I don't give enough. If you're giving 20% of your income, that's false doctrine, and God doesn't want you to do that. I'm like, oh. Are we actually making this argument? I mean, I don't know why Oregon's got 2 seconds left on the clock. Why would you just throw it up and get someone injured? Oh, they got a touch. No, he didn't miss it. But I mean, I don't know. Why would you do that? I don't get it. But all right, so yeah, I hate that stuff, Kirk. I literally, the Christian Orthodox argument, hey Don, about you have to follow this way is mind-boggling. And I'm just sitting there thinking, because they have the ways. You don't have the ways. They have the ways. Why? Because they have the way. And so if you don't follow this way, you're preaching false doctrine, which sounds almost blasphemous, does it not? Man, they still got, man, I remember we had the Jesus Christ Superstar album when I was growing up. Jesus Christ Superstar. I had no idea what it's about. I knew it was a stupid play, but I remember we had the LP when I was growing up. Jesus Christ Superstar. Pretty much CS. What does that mean? I don't get what that means, Penelope. But welcome on board, Penelope. I don't know what CS, Penelope, would you speak English so we can all understand? I know you live in Southern California, but we don't understand your Spanglish ways, okay? Anyway, what we're saying, I just hate it. I hate and it's funny because the people who follow Martin Luther, you might want to read what he said about another Abrahamic religion, if that makes sense. That a lot of these same people who follow Martin Luther want to support this small little country in the Middle East. I'm just like, okay. I mean, that's seems to be a challenge there. Did Penelope ever make sense? No, of course not. CS, pretty much CS. No, I don't think she's saying C.S. Lewis Liberty. I'm not sure what she's saying. C.S. Gas? Is that what she's saying? C.S. Gas? No one knows what Penelope's talking about. I even think, she's talking to Celtic Spirit. Okay. And what did Celtic Spirit say? That he's, yes, 100% Penelope. That she's saying you are gay, Celtic Spirit. You are 57 flavors, 100%. Exactly right, Penelope. Look at Penelope. She got it right. She goes, I don't know. I just remember having the LP. I didn't listen. I mean, my parents had in the background Jesus Christ Superstar. I have no clue what it's about. I have a sneaky suspicion it's pretty left wing because my parents are pretty left wing. But I don't know. I frankly just don't really care. Doesn't it seem like your relationship with God is what matters most? It seems that to me. And then was how many books are in the Catholic Bible? 72 or 73, I can't remember. 66 books in the Protestant Bible, 72, 73 in the Catholic Bible. So one of these are they're false gospel, the Catholic or the Protestants. I'm just like, it's like God is. I just never forget was it the Simpsons or South Park? I think it was the Simpsons. He goes, you maybe South Park. Hey, God, I can't remember, but he said, hey, maybe it's Flanders. Flanders going up to heaven. God, I did everything I was supposed to. He goes, oh, Flanders, sorry, you chose wrong. The real religion was the Mormons. And everybody in heaven's like, and then Flanders man. I think Miami's, are they not playing today? I think, aren't they playing Louisville? I thought maybe not. I'm a gospel hippie. Well, I can tell you don't like Trump, man. I don't understand that. I love the gospel hippies, 100%. I'd love to bring back the gospel hippies from the 60s. Absolutely. I'm a gospel hippie too, Kirk, but I also want America to be policed up, 100%. Hey, my man Vaughn, right here. All that matters is Ohio State won. I know how much Josh likes the Buckeyes. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, at least they play on grass. I mean, thankfully, but not the biggest Buckeye fan. But if they, Big Ten, I'll take the Big Ten over the SEC any day of the week. But I'm not a huge Buckeye fan. Can't lie to you. Vol school, oh, man. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. What I love about Catholics you guys want to see something crazy? Oh, I'm not going to show it to you. I mean, I can't find it. The freaking, that stupid church in England, the very Reverend, whatever the English church is, was it the Church of England? They're graffitiing their freaking building. It's insane, man, to appeal to the young people. They're putting graffiti on this building that was like an architect genius. It's just like, how woke and satanic do you have to be to say we're going to graffiti our own church in order to appeal to youngster? It's crazy. You're on a ship out in the Pacific, really? Kona, where the hell's that? Is that Hawaii? Was it the Anglican Church? I don't remember. Really? You're on a ship out in the... What are you doing out there? I bet Penelope's drunk. I bet she's about ready to fall over the ledge. Yeah, it's freaking nuts. What the hell? I mean, it's like literally Satanists have taken over the world, man, or the Christian church. I was just reading today about the guy, our own stupid Pope. Let's see if I can't find it. Because I'm Catholic. How dare you? But I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell? And let's see if I can't find it. I was like stunned by our new Pope. Everyone thought was righteous. Oh, by the way, there's a guy named Walter LaCour, who is a prominent historian and political commentator known for his extensive work on 20th century European fascism, communism, and terrorism. And he wrote a book about the origins of Zionism. And he's a big Jew, and he fled Nazi persecution in 1938, settling in Palestine. I just thought that was kind of interesting. A Jewish guy settled in Palestine, because I just find that interesting that the Nazis were persecuting the Jews, and the Jews went to Palestine. Anyway, so let's see if I can't find this thing. Well, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Dag nabbit. I literally couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna find it. I was like, what do you do? This Pope, not the Pope, a guy got kicked out of the church because of how I might have saved it. 1 second. It's crazy. 2 more weeks. No matter what Western religion, believing in God and Jesus, 100%, man. I don't get why people. I literally don't understand, man. I don't understand. No matter what Western religion, believing in God and Jesus dying on the cross for our sins is a glue that keeps us all on the straight path. 100%. Yeah, dude. Woo, Finney, you stank. It is getting dark early. If you lived in Maine, it gets dark like 4 p.m. Isn't that crazy? 4 p.m. is nuts. It was creepy, which one of the things I actually liked about being in Maine, because it was pretty creepy, not going to lie to you. Let me see if I can't find this. All right, hold on a second. Hitler brings peace to Israel. That's pretty funny. Babylon B. Look at Hitler. That's his new, hail thing. Hitler brings peace to Israel. I thought that was kind of funny. We got this chick, Dickie Chappelle. Man, what a freaking legend. Dude, this chick, if you ever get a chance, Georgette Louise Meyer. She's an American photojournalist known for her work as war correspondent from World War II through her death in Vietnam. She got killed in Vietnam. Just legends. Penelope, you got to speak up for freaking women legends, man. It's interesting to Google the 8 levels of giving. They have it all figured out. Interesting. It was a Church of England. The Canterbury, that's what it was. The stupid Canterbury Cathedral. They literally freaking spray painted their own church. That's crazy to me. By the way, guess what I got? I got the second ever USFL off eBay. Remember the USFL? Dude, I so love the USFL. I love it. Stephen King, I think I think he lives in Florida, actually. I don't think he lives in Maine anymore. Hitler and the Grand Mullah of Palestine for the Arab Combat Division is helping fighting the British. Yeah. All right. Deuterocanonical in the Catholic Bible are an additional 7 books. Yeah, okay, so 7. That's right. So 73 books. That's right. Hasn't seen the story, but the graffiti. 100%. No one's. It's freaking nuts, man. It's nuts. Anyway, my man said on a different religion, on a different topic, the King's got to buy. All right, gotcha. Yeah, you and was it Fast Eddie? No, who's the guy on here who likes the Canes? I had great econ professors at University of Texas, but they were devoid of reality. It's funny. We're talking. My son, he's taking econ, and he's like, so if we have perfect competition, I said, this is a problem with the economics. There is no such thing as perfect competition. It's idiotic. And I mean, my son knows that, but he's like, well, they say that in class. I said, I know. All right, so just why don't you? All right, on another subject, in regard to his government shutdown, Trump's tariffs will cover funding of our military and some other functions. That could last several months. Yep, exactly. All right, so all right, let me go. Speaking of tariffs, let's go into this because I find it very interesting. We're going to talk to right here. Yeah, right here. All right, sweet. Just the whole thing about tariffs is just, I mean, it's so freaking stupid. It's not tariffs that Trump is doing. It's so friggin' stupid how anyone, there's like no one will, it's almost like if you spoke negatively on Black Lives Matter, you were banned from a polite society. It's the same damn thing with freaking tariffs. If you say tariffs are good, people are like, oh, I say, why do you say that? Why do you say tariffs are? But Kirk's right here. Why do you don't have to answer if you don't want. Why do you say, I'm just saying, generally speaking, why do you say tariffs are bad? And they all say the same thing. They raise prices. I say, where is the evidence for that? Where is the evidence? And then what they'll do is they'll deflect. They'll say, well, Smoot-Hawley. I say, oh, so we can use Smoot-Hawley, all right, as I did a video earlier today. And I showed, man, Finney, you stink. I showed you the same video, the video I did earlier today. Again, I showed you what happened after the McKinley tariffs of 1890, the Dingley tariffs of 1897, the 40 tariffs of 1922, and even Reagan tariffs, which is kind of small, but still, hey, man, Jeremy. Hey, look at Jeremy. He passes whatever that is, his exam 2 hours and 50 minutes at 102 questions. Right on. Well, that means you make money. You should be giving me those freaking that thing right there. All right, Kirk, we're going to smack you down here today. I would say calculated tariffs could be fine, but blanket tariffs are not great. No, exact wrong. You're wrong 100% there. We'll get into that second. Anyway. No, I completely agree with this. 100%. I completely agree with that, Andrew. But the GOP needs to say, yeah, we're happy to provide the subsidies, just no more illegals getting it. I think if I'm the Republicans, say, yeah, we'll give you the subsidies, just no more illegals, 100%. I've been banned from polite society since I turned 40. Well, you're here. I guess I need to ban you because we are a polite society. All right. So let's, how dare you? So the argument is tariffs are bad because it causes increases in prices. And the evidence just is minimal for that at best. And then the tariffs are bad because of Smoot-Hawley. I'm like, okay, well, we got plenty of other evidence for the other side of that. And then they just say, well, our economic models and stuff. It's just the whole thing's just so freaking stupid. The same economic models that say there's perfect competition, and there never is. There never will be because there's no such thing as perfect competition. But actually, let's go into some stuff here because you'll get a kick out of this. And right there, I think it is. Yeah, right here. China, right here. 25 years of China's advantage and America's amnesia. Amnesia. Right there. I was snoring. This week marks the 25th anniversary. Let me see if I can't make that bigger for you all knuckleheads. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Look at me. Yeah, I don't even. It's fine. I literally don't care what Jerome Powell. I mean, that's fine. You know, he's starting to come aboard, but I just don't care what the economists say because we have evidence now. So economists can say all day long, "Hey, this, that, and the other." It's okay, but I mean, the evidence. I don't need an economist to tell me about what tariffs do when we have the evidence that say what tariffs have done. You see what I'm saying? So if an economist is going to say, "Hey, tariffs say we'll do this," and I say, "But that's not what the evidence say," then the economist will say, Well, on the other hand, it's what Truman said. I just need a one-hand economist because they're always like, on one hand, red is blue. On the other hand, red is red. It's freaking idiots. Hey, what's up, Rebecca? Hey, Rebecca, ¿qué pasó? How is Central Florida, Rebecca? Central Florida. Considering how it played out in Angola, they don't control everything. Anything? We talk about China. But I appreciate what you're saying there, moon landing guy. Yeah, most economics professors never started or ran a bit. 100%, dude. Absolutely. Hey, we got Bruce Dexter on Facebook. Not too many people on Facebook. Got 7 people on Twitter. I'm back on Twitter. I was banned for a week because I said I said the gallows pole. I was singing a Led Zeppelin song about the gallows for some clowns, and Twitter did not like that. And I said, wait a second, you got all kinds of freaking clowns on Twitter saying all kinds of clowny stuff, but whatever. Anyway, what was I getting ready to say? Oh, so let's go back to this. This week marks the 25th anniversary of China being designated the permanent normalized trade relations, with the U.S. paving the way for China's entry to the World Trade Organization. Remember the WTO protests in Seattle? And man, such a freaking clown. I hated those guys who were protesting. And I just, in hindsight, they were freaking right. They were like Antifa before Antifa. And I just said, came around, I said, I hate these guys. But they were right. They were right. It's a freaking Occupy Wall Street people was right too. And I turned on them because I was a typical right-wing Republican. The corporations are good. Free trade is good. No minimum wage is good. I was still back then. Unlimited immigration is a good thing. I was such a freaking idiot. Such a freaking idiot, man. And I'm just sitting there thinking, how did I fall for all that stuff? I'm just a poor kid from Maine. And I got this book right here I'm reading. Would you stay on point? I will in just a second. Right here, You Had a Job for Life. And it's about the story of a company town, a paper mill company in New Hampshire. And check this out. This is the freaking guy, the CEO. So we got right here. The paper mill, family-owned paper mill in Lancaster, New Hampshire. Man, you stink. Is it you or is it Finnegan? Or Groveton, New Hampshire. Groveton, New Hampshire was family-owned. All right, and then they merged with Diamond International in 1968, but they're still run. The local company was still run by the local owners, or in that case, they were made vice presidents, and they did that for another 15 years. In 1982, an Anglo-French financier, Sir James Goldsmith, completed a hostile takeover of Diamond International, and there was no more local management of the firm. And the era of engaged local ownership ended. The following year, the hedge fund guy who took over the private in a hostile takeover sold the mill to James River of Richmond, Virginia. The new owner eventually starved the mill of an investment. And then, let's see. And started the mill. Then it was bought out by Wausau Paper Mill Company. I believe that's Wausau's, Wisconsin. So all you Wisconsin people can go pound sand, cheesehead, freaking Wisconsinites. And Wausau Paper Mills Company bought the mill for the bargain price in 1992. And then they invested lavishly until 2000, whereas then austerity reigned. In 2007, they closed the Grovetown mill without consulting local management. And a covenant was placed on the mill forbidding future owners from making paper. So check this out. My man says that the guy who owned the firm, hold on a second if I can find it. He right here is what he says. Very, very interesting. The litany of uncontrollables that doomed the Grovetown mill is familiar to rural and urban communities throughout the United States that have lost an auto plant, a steel plant, a textile, or paper mill. Absentee owners, i.e. hedge funds, private equity, freaking scumbags, with scant commitment to the local community, declining investment in modernizing the aging machinery and infrastructure, soaring energy prices, what's happening in Germany right now, coupled with competition from mills and factories located in foreign countries where wages are lower and environmental protections are lax to non-existent. The old CEO says everything you see is made in China, right? And that's why the author says that's why I'm not a fan of free trade. And the old CEO says I'm not either. Very interesting. But he's obviously a commie. And he's like, no, not. He's an old CEO. And then they say right here, what do you say? If I can find, I'm not going to go find it while we're on this. But he talks about. I thought you're a capitalist. He goes, I am a capitalist, but what we have essentially is corporatist, where we don't have capitalism. We have corporatism that's basically been allowed to call itself capitalism. Let's see. I think Grovetown paper. I think Vietnam. Why? Because they can make it in Vietnam for half what we can make. That's the name of the game. Anyone that can make the most money, that's what's going to happen. Never mind the little guy. Yep. It makes me bitter, but the facts are the facts. Yep, exactly right. And the guy says, I don't get a sense there are a lot of people from headquarters who came to Groveton, New Hampshire to see what's going on. Anyway, it's very interesting. But I've only started the first chapter, but it's just very interesting to see that this guy, the old CEO, had a very harsh take of capitalism, even though he's like, I thought you were a capitalist. He goes, I'm not. I'm not. Anyway, let's keep going. China has the cheapest energy costs. Why? Because they use coal, so much coal. Anyway, let's keep going here. Go back to that article. And it's a great book, dude. I'm going to, one of these days, I'm going to go look at this Grovetown, New Hampshire. By the way, I looked up the real estate a couple places there, $240,000 for houses. I have no idea. Notre Dame won up Tom's here. They beat the Wolfpack. But I have no idea, no clue in terms of the Wi-Fi and all that stuff if you can work from home there. But, you can get a house in Grovetown, New Hampshire for freaking $240,000, dude. A 3-bed, 2-bath. I think actually this was 4-bed, 2-bath on 2 acres or something like that. And it's in the freaking White Mountains. Millinocket, Maine, 100%, man. I thought this was in Millinocket, Maine. I thought this book was, and then I saw it was Grovetown, New Hampshire, 100%. It's freaking pissing me off. I hate it. The last paper mill in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, who was it owned by Georgia, not Georgia Power. What's it called? Georgia? No, it's not Georgia Power. Georgia Pacific. Who owned that? Do you know, Oscar? Yeah, it's freaking. No, dude. Yeah, but you don't pay sales tax. You don't pay income tax. Look, I'm not moving to Hampshire. I'm telling you right now. But I get it. 100%. I mean, just property tax goes through the roof. Unless you're living in Coos County. Coos County is where that is. That place right there. It's the northeast. Well, I wouldn't even say the northeast because New Hampshire is so small in the north part. But the northern part of New Hampshire, Coos County, the property tax are quite cheap. Grief. Pacific, Georgia Pacific. Oh yeah, that's what's Georgia Pacific, right? All right, let's keep going. So my goal here is to convince you clowns, yes, all of you clowns, Kirk in particularly, that terrorists are a good thing. All right, let's keep going because and not just specific terrorists, but terrorists across the board. And I'm going to show you why. All right, let's see. Right here. So while Breitbart marked the quadricentennial with a guest by Senator Jim Banks of Indiana. So if Jill's here, Indiana, the occasion, the 25th anniversary of the WTO expansion with China, received almost no notice in legacy media. We suspect one reason for this is that any remembrance would make it clear that granting normalized trade relations to China was one of the worst policy mistakes in the history of the U.S., almost like NAFTA. And again, I fell for the NAFTA crap too. At the time, the consensus among the American political leaders of both sides was that deeper ties with the U.S. would benefit the U.S. with China would benefit the U.S. economy and American workers. Here's a brief from President Bill, put some ice on that, Clinton said, after the Senate approved the permanent normalized trade relations. In return for normal trade relations, the same terms of trade we now offer to more than 130 countries, China will open its products to America. from wheat to cars to consulting services. And we will be far more able to sell goods to China without moving our factories there. That's what freaking stinky Clinton, put some ice on Clinton, said. The more China opens its markets to our products, the wider its doors to economic freedom, and will liberate the Chinese people. When China finishes the negotiations and joins the World Trade Organization, our high-tech companies will help to speed the information revolution there. Outside competition will speed the demise of China's huge state industries and spur private sector involvement. They will diminish the role of government in people's lives. It will strengthen those within China who fight for higher labor standards, a cleaner environment, human rights, and the rule of law. And we will find that America has more influence on China with an outstretched hand than with a clenched fist. The arrangement facilitated technology theft. U.S. exports to China did not grow anywhere near the pace of China's economy. So that today, the ratio of exports to China's GDP is around 2/3 of what it was then. Exports did grow, but China's economy grew more. All right. So our exports to China's GDP is a third less than it was in 25 years ago. China's exports to the U.S. went the other way. In 1999, U.S. exports to China equal about 1.2% of China's GDP. Today, that share is about 0.8%. Over the same period, China's exports to the U.S. rose from 0.9 to 1.5 of the U.S. GDP. In other words, we switched positions. Of course, China has been thieving our intellectual property too. China is still dominated by state industries. The consolidation of authority around a single dictator, Xi Jinping, too. The Chinese government and government's role in the daily lives of its citizens has grown. The heads of those within China who will fight for human rights has been chopped off. We have less influence in China than we did. It shouldn't be missed that this episode has been a fiasco for the field of economics. It was nearly a universal consensus among U.S. economists at the time that the access to U.S. markets would liberalize China, promote liberty, remove power from central planners, bring down China's trade barriers, and be an unqualified boom for the U.S. economy. 150 prominent economists in the era, including 13 Nobel Prize winners, signed an open letter to the American people to support China's entry in the World Trade Organization. It was the most elite intellectual endorsement of globalization since Bretton Woods. 25 years later, almost every major forecast in that letter failed. And now what are we dealing with? Rare earth retaliation. And so this is where guys like Kirk got to pull their heads out of their behinds and say, when one country has us over a barrel, we are not free. And that's what China has us over a barrel. Thankfully, we have them over a bigger barrel because we have the economy that they need to export money to or export crap stuff to. But they still got us over a barrel when it comes to rare earth stuff. Now, think about if we didn't have any capacity to make steel. Think about what would happen then if we had no capacity to make steel and we had to rely on China. So they got us over the barrel here. What if we could not make any steel because we said, we just trade with China? The economists say it's a great thing. It'll free up money and make China more free. Think about that for a second. If we didn't have any capacity to make steel, what would that do to the U.S. economy if China says, screw you guys? Well, they would have never done it if Trump didn't do something. Okay. So what we do in the United States determines how China hurts us. Okay. So essentially we have to do what China says. That's great. China chose to celebrate the 25th anniversary by conducting global trade with Chinese characteristics. In other words, by weaponizing its dominance of rare earth minerals. It announced sweeping, stringent export controls and new licensing rules covering any product containing even trace amounts of Chinese processed rare earths. No one should be surprised by this. State-directed economic aggression is a perfect way for China to celebrate a quarter century of exploiting Western idiots. And right here, economists getting trade wrong after all these years. Even a guy in the Washington Post says that the profession's forecast of recession and runaway inflation after Trump's first tariffs, the Liberation Day, haven't come to fruition. Growth is now nearly 4%, inflation under 3%, and booming tariff revenues. The peace marks a turning point. After decades of anti-tariff dogma, the public debate is shifting towards the populist view that markets adapt, foreign producers absorb costs, and U.S. can use trade policy to strengthen our own economy. And Andrew, this is what you were talking about right here. Will the GOP become the tax collector of Obamacare? Right here. Republicans object on cost of Obamacare and on principle, but politically, those are losing arguments. They're being maneuvered into acting as a tax collectors for the Democratic healthcare estate. Democrats are shutting down the government to lower premiums, while Republicans are arguing for a higher household cost. Not a winning frame, exactly. There is an exit ramp. Republicans could back right here. Republicans could back to continuing the enhanced subsidies for working and middle-class Americans while ensuring illegal aliens, including DACA recipients and Biden's parolees, remain ineligible. 100%. I completely agree with that. And that's what Republicans should do. And I imagine they probably will, ultimately, because they're not that dumb. Trump's certainly not stupid when it comes to this. So anyway, that would be a smart move. We're going to say, hey, we're open. We are literally we want to retain the subsidies. We just don't want illegal immigrants to have them. And no one, the Democrats will, in the media that controls the Democrats, will maneuver around that. But no one's going to sit there and say, oh, no. There's, my man, what's his name? Zurich, who used to play for the Notre Dame. He's got big, like chunky. He used to be the defensive lineman and play for Notre Dame, like a monster. I don't think he did much in the NFL, though. Colorado beat Ohio State or Iowa State. Damn. Link to what article? Just go to Breitbart. Jeremy's on Breitbart.com. All right, so let's go back now to what Kirk was saying about tariffs. Let's see if we can find this article here. Oh, yeah, so China tightens controls on rare earth. I do want to show you this one. Again, when you're dealing with free trade, you're dealing... Let's see. I'll share this link right here, Jeremy. For $2, I'll share a link. When you're dealing with free trade, that means you're dealing with countries who do not have your best interests at hand, and you're saying we're going to put you up against the barrel. And if you don't do what we say, it sucks to be you. I don't know why the West has ceded our dominance. I just don't, especially the United States. I don't understand it. It's kind of like all these people in the, oh my goodness, you enslaved all these Indians, blah, 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 when it came to settlers and whatnot. Dude, we came here freaking with nothing. And we were able to think about how amazing the Europeans were and just dominating the world. Why would anyone feel guilty about that? We came here and crushed. And we crushed all comers. And we made America better for everybody. That's just a fact, dude. And the idea that somehow we've been shamed into this, like, the settlers came, but they did do all the smallpox blanket stuff. Like, it's just so freaking stupid. It's so stupid. I'm like, why are you so freaking bad word that begins with a P and ends with a Y? Why are you so, it's crazy to me. Not you guys. I'm like, we came here and freaking crushed. We crushed. The Brits went to India and crushed. And they said, you're not going to throw yourselves on a freaking a pile of fire when your husband dies, Indian woman. You're not going to do that. That's not how we do business here. And we enforced our morality on the world, and the world is better for it. Wilberforce. You're not familiar with Wilberforce? We enforced our morality on the world to end slavery. And even though some Muslim states still have it, I grant you, China, some communist states still do. We enforced on the world European values. Why would you ever be freaking embarrassed by that? It's insane to me. Not only should you not be not embarrassed, you should be proud to say, dude, the West crushes, everybody else slushes. Because if it wasn't for us, the world would be in a whole world of slavery and chaos right now, dominated by freaking rape gangs, freaking child sacrifices, women being thrown on the fires because their husbands died, all that stuff. Crazy. Oh, who are we talking about? Talk about chick? Ooh, I like talking about chicks. She looks young, but actually 42. That drummer's taking my spot. Oh, God, dude. And freaking, and all these people, you stole our land. Yeah, because we were better. We were better. Oh, you offered us fake trades. Yeah, I mean, so there were some of that, and both sides did it for sure. I don't deny that. We were better. We were better equipped. We had better technology, and we just were better. That's all there is to it. I'm not ashamed at all on that, and you shouldn't be either. No one should be ashamed. We should know the better people took the land. We took it. Yeah, we traded for it. We might have given you some bad deals, but hey, that's what we did, and we're freaking. Oh, I saw that. Is a chick drumming for Rush? I saw that. I said that I didn't look. I just saw a freaking YouTube thing. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw the thumbnail. Yeah, she looks good too, man. I was intrigued. Is she good? When it comes to land, it should be okay. All right. So Joe Christmas. Joe Christmas says, when it comes to land, it should be put to the highest and best use for all. God gave us the earth, might as well use it to the benefit of the many over a few. Who determines that, Joe Christmas? Who determines that? You? You determine that? Do you get who determines that? One second, let me talk to my wife real quick. Hey, what up, girl? I'm on a live stream right now. You want to say hey to everybody? Wait, you want to say hey to everybody?
Hey, everybody.
That's my wife. She's talking to you guys. What's going on, Sandy? Did you see Georgia Tech win?
Yes, and we're going to dinner now. We're going to try to watch the Auburn UGA game.
Oh, fun. All right. Is it still light out there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's the weather like?
Hot. We're kind of hot.
Oh, man.
But it's good.
Well, you are hot.
All right. Well, just call me when you're done.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's my wife. Obviously. Are you talking about my wife, or are you talking about Joe Christmas' silly thing? We should use it for the benefit of all over the few. if everyone, yes, right. And communism could work. If everyone did communism, we could work it. Oh, dude. As we climb over the bones of millions and millions of people who died under the wrath of communists. No chicks calling you. No. Charles AI, exactly. Joe Christmas. I hope you're a hippie. I mean, that's fine if you're a hippie, you think this way. If just everyone would honor God, we'd all be better off. The problem is people don't. They don't. They never will all honor God until God and his chosen one, Jesus, come again. It's not the football game. 1 second. What the hell is that with Steve Harvey? College football. They're not going to do it. And as such, there we go. And as such, we need ways. All right, here's Georgia game. As such, the only way to maximize the best use of land for the most is through capitalism. Actually, private property rights, unequivocally. Private property is the best way to bring wealth and prosperity to the masses. It's not even debatable. I'm not a communist. I lost $50,000 just like everybody else. No, I'm not saying you're a communist. I said, I hope you're a hippie. That's what I said. I'm not calling you a commie. I'm calling you a hippie. I hope you are. I got no problem with hippies with their, fanciful ways. It's just silly. But hey, man, like I said, I'll take a Jesus-loving hippie any other week over a freaking Milton Friedmanite. I'm 100%. I'll take Joe Christmas any day of the week over a freaking guy who says, oh man, we just got to maximize profits for the that's what we got to do. But I like Milton Friedman. I think he's right more than he's wrong. But I think we've fallen too much on neoconservatism for this idea that profits mean everything, and they just don't. Exactly. So Joe, why don't you give exactly? Why do you have 2 to 3 million to lose? One, I completely agree. What Joe Christmas? Look, Kirk, you got a fan in Kirk, Joe Christmas. Kirk's your little Portland hippie too, hippie Jesus hippie. I love Jesus hippies. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want you guys in charge of the government. All the real hippie died years ago. These are fake hippies. I don't want to say all the real ones did, but I hear what you're saying. They became. There's a song by a band called Tree. Actually, let me find the song. From Boston. It's what the hell's the song called? It's a negative hippie. And I'll read you the lyrics. Hold on a second. Lyrics to Trees, negative hippie song. And Kirk, we're going to get into your thing about why we need specific total tariffs, not just specific. All right. Negative hippie, so pale and frail. Negative hippie, your movement failed. Negative hippie fought establishment. Negative hippie, you're an embarrassment. From hippie to yippie to yuppie, now die. The baby boomers live a lie. From hippie to yuppie, you joke. You're a tight-ass conservative who used to smoke. Too many hippies from the 60s turn into yuppies in the 80s. Greediest hypocrites of all time. Hippie turned yuppie are slime. Yep, that's hippie to yippie. 100% hippies. Yep. How would I fix Social Security? Do you not watch my videos, dude? Come on. I know you have attracted my gray hair. I'd fix Social Security by raising the payroll tax, unequivocally raise the payroll tax. Absolutely. On 50 basis points on both sides, so 1% for me. Dude, 100% hippie, because they love money, dude. They love money. Hippies are the biggest. The hippies that are around today are the biggest. It's Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's a perfect example. They love freaking money more than anything. The biggest, Tony Blair, the biggest scoundrels there are, dude. All these hippies, I mean, at least the Republicans back in the day just said, we love money. We'll do anything for money. The hippies back then, we don't want money. And now the biggest scumbags there are. Anyway, so my son's at this Georgia-Auburn game. I saw him. I didn't see him. I saw him. Anyway, let's see. 100%. So I tax the endowments. Well, not just. I would tax all churches, everything. In fact, what I would do is I'd put the same tax rates on corporations, not corporations, all nonprofits that trusts have. Do you not know what the tax rates are for trusts? If you retain, I think it's like $12,000 in a trust, you're taxed at like the highest tax bracket, something like that. I think it's $15,000 now. It used to be $11,750 back when I was talking trust with clients. I don't do that anymore. I mean, a little bit, not much. I think it's probably $15,000 now. So if you're a trust and you retain, or we'll just say $15,000, your tax rate on any income above $15,000 it used to be 39.6. I think it's 37% now. Unequivocally, I would do that. Unequivocally, I said, if you're going to retain this asset as a nonprofit, you're going to have to pay a 37% tax on it. And what do you do then with the asset, with the income? You give it away as you're supposed to as a nonprofit, or you give it to your salaries, increase your salaries. I got no qualm with increasing salaries at all. But you can't retain it like the freaking these colleges do in their endowments. It's freaking nuts, dude. I hate it. I hate them. They should be paying tax like a regular business does. Why should a freaking university get all these tax exemptions, no property tax? Think about James Madison University. Right? James Madison University owns like 40% of the city of Harrisonburg, Virginia. Harrisonburg, Virginia is a very small town, about 40,000 people there, probably 20,000 students are out. They don't pay any property tax. None. And so Harrisonburg, Virginia is focused on their 20% or 50% of the population. It's crazy, man. Oh, dude, I've seen her she was freaking heinous. I tax the endowments. I tax churches because churches shouldn't be freaking getting free rides. I used to fall for that. Well, I still hear people on here like churches are doing wonderful things. You're telling me they can't do wonderful things without tax benefits? That's kind of creepy. You're not going to donate. Remember when Oregon State used to be good? You're not going to donate to your church if you don't get a tax write-off? That seems not very biblical to me. Talk about that's non-biblical. That doesn't seem so. Anyway, if you make over $1 million of income, you don't get tax preference on capital gains or qualified dividends. You have to pay ordinary income on qualified gains or ordinary dividends. All right, because these hedge funds are making bad. I bet me and Joe Christmas, I bet we agree on a lot. I just don't believe in this communistic. And when I say communistic, Joe, I'm low C. All right, low C. Like I'm a low R Republican, if that makes sense. The communist view of the world is if we just all got along and held hands. I get it, man. Look, I'm somewhat of I was raised by hippies. My God, You know what I'm saying? They were freaking met each other in 1967 in San Francisco, for heaven's sake. My dad was a carpenter on the docks. My mom was a student at San Francisco State. Anyway, the point being is I get it. I've been through all. We used to go to freaking Gus King and Gus Hall, Angela Davis, Gus Hall. In 1976, they ran as a communist. I had Gus Hall pins, freaking bumper stickers. We protest against the Maine Yankee in Wisconsin, which is the nuclear energy plant they had in Wisconsin, Maine, because nuclear is so scary. All that stuff, dude. We had Nigerian people come stay with us because we wanted to outreach freaking with Africans and stuff like that. Just we didn't have a TV. My mom, the original hippie, she breastfed. She hated Nestle because of what they're doing to poor Africans, women. They say, hey, don't breastfeed. Use our freaking formula. Evil, evil, evil scumbags. We had compost. We had chickens, eggs, the whole thing. Because we didn't live off the land, but certainly they were trying to be better stewards of the land. They weren't Christian per se in terms of my grandparents are stark Catholics, but my parents weren't so much. Certainly my dad was not. Anyway, point being was, no, I get it. I get the allure of hippies. I do, 100%. I'm a big fan, long time. The issue is it's just not going to work because people are people. People want, they take their self, they're self serving. That's all. And you are too. I am too. We all are. But anyway, so going back to Fast Eddie, who apparently just comes and goes every now and again, never watches the videos, never thumbs up. Just comes in, comments on my beautiful, beautiful hair, and then, fantasizes about me all day long, apparently. So what I would do is I raise payroll tax. You got to have some skin in the game. I would raise taxes on all nonprofits. I say you're not getting tax-free stuff anymore because most of that tax-free stuff just goes to make the salaries of the CEOs incredibly rich. It's freaking disgusting. A lot of the money they raise goes to raise more money in these huge fancy schmancy good time rock and roll freaking endeavors of caviar and lobster to get more. It's just such a freaking scam. I hate it. All universities have now property tax is more localized, but all universities, no more tax exemptions for property tax. If your local community wants to do it, I don't care. And then I would tax the endowments. I'd raise the qualified dividends and capital gain tax, long-term capital gain tax on anyone making over $1 million. That's what I'd do. And frankly, if we can't, I'd even think about a wealth tax. I've said this a million times a Sunday. I'm not against Elizabeth Warren type of wealth tax. I'm just not. $100 million you die with, you know what I'm saying? Because what these guys do to avoid the wealth tax we have now, i.e. an estate tax. An estate tax and wealth tax is the same thing, just synonymous. What they do is they give all their money to these charitable endeavors. Warren Buffett gives all his money to Bill Gates Foundation. Bill Gates gives all his money to freaking the Warren Buffett Foundation. It's a freaking scam. Oh, Alabama pulled out. Yeah, I saw that. All right, so Auburn's got the ball at the Georgia 10, Georgia 11. Georgia having more white guys on defense? Whatever happened to that guy, Dan Jackson, their safety from, I know he's a senior. Did he make a team in the NFL? I hope he did. That guy was a freaking beast. Tennessee. Oh, man, Tennessee just squeaked out one against Arkansas. Remember, Arkansas lost to like freaking Nomadic State or something like that. I never liked Tennessee, ever. When they had T. Martin, I couldn't stand him then. I did like they had a black quarterback who got in trouble with the law in the 80s, and then he played in the USFL. I can't remember. Tony Robinson, I think is his name. Tony Robinson. I think that's his name. He was a black quarterback, and he got in trouble, and then he went in the USFL, and then he played in this. Oh, man, Alabama intercepts Missouri late to win fifth straight. And then he played in the USFL, and then he played when the Redskins, when they were striking. Remember the 87 strike? Tony Robinson, a big fan of that guy. Anyway. No free cars, just a place to worship under a biblical doctrine. 100%. What we got? There's who we talk about? Monica freaking what's her name? Monica, what's that chick's name? You know what I'm talking about. Bill Clinton, Monica, Cigar Monica. She is pretty hot right now, man. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, she's pretty good looking. Trust. Well, I'm not going to accuse them of straight being scammers. I don't know that. I don't know. So if it didn't help you with your taxes, you wouldn't do that anymore? Is that what you're saying, Kirk? I don't like the prosperity pastors. That's freaking. I don't like that at all. I'm not sure the mega churches are all prosperity pastors. So, like Andy Stanley here at North Point Church, he's definitely not a prosperity pastor. He's non-denominational, and he's a force for good. I just don't think they should be tax free. And the reason for that is because I think it opens the way to insanity of scammers, 100%. And I mean, this why did the guy rob the bank? That's where the money is. You know what I'm saying? Why did you become a scammer in a church entity or nonprofit? That's where the money is for sure. All right, so we got my man said here, right here. There's Harry saying here's a trust tax bracket. So 37% over a 15,650. Remember, that's just retained income. So if you make the money, hey, big boy. Oh man, I love dogs. Did I keep the picture? I'm sure if you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen this picture, but we almost adopted this dog. If I can find it, I'm probably not gonna be able to find it. No, I didn't. But we almost adopted a dog named Strawberry the dog. It's like, I wish I would have, but we couldn't. Anyway, so if you're a trust and you retain over 15,650, you pay tax on the amount that you retained over that. And retain just means you kept it in house. You did not distribute it. It's called distributable net income. How much income are you distributing? So trusts have incentivized to distribute the income as per the dictates of the trust. Inherently makes sense. And we should do the same thing with nonprofits and endowments. What are you doing, puppy? 10 agree, Josh. Lifetime gift exemption, $30 million. If you want to do some charitable giving, you do it out. Yeah, man, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Joe Christmas. All right, you come back. You come back from the dead. Right on. I didn't even think about that. Lifetime gift completely. If you want to give, you can still give, just not taking the tax deduction. Just don't pay tax on it, on your gifting. Dude, 100%, Joe. That's good stuff, man. I'd just rather my church scam me than our government. Wait, that's right. Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, she's pretty smoking, man. I can't lie. Hey, someone's getting the food. You can't be that hungry, dude. So he's on a steroid, this guy, because he's got arthritis in his leg. And so we got to put him on the steroid. And he's just starving Marvin. It's crazy how hungry he is now. No, dude, he's not gaining weight, which is kind of scary. Flag on the call. Who you guys going for, Auburn or Georgia? Monica Lewinsky, 100%. God needs money because he doesn't have his own. I hear you, Kirk. But but that's, I mean, you're not giving because of taxes, though. That's the point. You're giving because you're a good man. And you say it makes you feel good to give, and you think that giving, you're showing good stewardship by allowing other people to use your money to better humanity. I don't think that has anything to do with, and the fact that you get a tax write-off, that's great, but I hope that's not what determines your gifting strategy. Actually, Auburn's got a touchdown. I might turn on that Cubs game, actually. I'm going for the Cubs. Hold a second. Baseball. Had to put my dog. Oh, dude, man. That sucks. Oops, World Soccer. I'm not gay. I'm not watching that. They'll watch World Soccer. Well, Fast Eddie would. Oh, man, Fast Eddie, that sucks, dude. How old was he? Oh, dude, that's horrible. 100%. So, Kirk, I imagine I got a sneaky suspicion that are you actually deducting? Because if you're deducting your taxes, your charitable contributions, that means you're itemizing, which is a pretty significant itemization relative to standard deductions. Man, that sucks, Fast Eddie. That's horrible. I've had to do that. When I had to do that back in 2003 or something like that, it took us, maybe 2005. It took us 15 years to get Pablo, and then because I just could not go through that again. That sucked. Horribly sucked. Oh, 15. Okay, I'm not saying that's easy. I'm just saying. The problem with gifting is that over the exemption amount, you have to file a separate tax return. I gave my third nephew 30 G's. Yeah, it's not that hard. It's just a 709. I mean, it's just a couple pages. It's not that big of a deal. If you're self-employed, right on. You're signing you're self-employed, Kirk. What's your biz? And you don't have to say if you don't want. That's fine. Whatever. But what's your biz? All right, so let's keep reading. We're gonna hit Kirk again. So I'm basically banging Kirk here in a friendly way. Pulverizer. You said you're banging Kirk. Pulverizer is going to clip that. He's going to put it all over the internet to show that I'm 57 flavors. Josh said he's banging Kirk. Josh, all these people are all my audience is going to shy away. So, Josh, I didn't know you're 57 flavors. Oh, you've been faking it the whole time. That wasn't Charlotte who called your AI. Charles AI. What I want to show you here. Oh, yeah, right here. I do want to show you this, though. This is freaking scary, in my opinion. Come on, Pops. You can do it. There we go. Oh, you got it. Oh, there we go. Good boy. Oh, you're about to knock over the computer. Okay. All right. Hi, puppy. Hi, you're a good boy. Yes, you are. So China controls 70% of raw earth materials that we get. 70% come from China. I mean, that's just not good, man. Now they got another thing down here, right? This is key critical minerals and rare earth that goes into smartphones. This is not good. What else? No, I guess that's it. I just wanted to show you something else here too. Import reliance. They control 70% of rare earths, which is, they say in here, China has been shrewd about using its market dominance to make it very difficult for competitors from free market economies to challenge its position. For example, when China sees a push to open more mines or processing plants in other countries, it floods the market and drives down prices, making those projects look unprofitable. That's called dumping. And now you stink, buddy. Whew, boy, you boys are stink. I guess I gave him some. Right here, they control the minerals crucial for manufacturing semiconductors, electric vehicles, green energy products, and other key technologies. Not good. All right, so let's get rid of that. Now I'm going to come back to this one right here. Here's Jim Banks. Oh, let's read what Jim Banks had to say about the state of Indiana, about how our 25-year infatuation with China has destroyed jobs. And here's Jim Banks. China has proven the experts wrong. Look at Denny Hastert, you scumbag, dude. Is that Pelosi right there? Is that Pelosi? I bet Pelosi was hot when she was young. There's Madeleine Albright. I don't know who that guy is. Probably Chamber of Commerce scumbag. That guy looks familiar. Who is that guy right there? Is that Pelosi? Jim Hastert, you freaking scumbag. Oh, I can't stand these people. Anyway, so Jim Banks says about Indiana. They look at freaking Monica, that girl. Oh, dude, I so hate these people. And there's, I think it's Bill Roth right there. Who the hell is that scumbag? I don't see Larry Summers. Larry Summers is in the pictures. Charlie Rangel. Look at Charlie Rangel, you freaking clown. Yeah, that's Pelosi. That's Rangel. That's Denny Hastert. That's Bill Roth right there. Stupid Albright, who says it's worth it to kill 500,000 Iraqi children. I used to fall for all this stuff, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see freaking Larry Summers in there. Is that Moynihan? No, Moynihan's dead by then. Who's that guy? Who are these three guys? Don't know. Anyone know? Oh, I can't stand these people. Nancy loves to trade. Yeah. Scaramucci. No one cares, but that guy's stupid. My question is we get 70% for China. Is that because they have the cheapest price, or because they're the only ones who have it? Well, they're not the only ones who have it, apparently, because what the article said was that when other competitions go, China floods the market, so the other competitions can't afford to compete. All right, come on, Cubs. And I guess the Mariners beat the Detroit. I was kind of going for Detroit there too. Anyway, so let's see what happened in Indiana. China's economy did not become freer. American companies that expanded their operations to China fell victim to rampant intellectual property theft, censorship, and oppressive regulation. China did not transfer to that liberal democracy. Yep, they did not. We already talked about this right here. Nearly 25 years ago, China was responsible for roughly 8% of the world's manufacturing. By 2020, that has reached 30%. At the start of 2000, my state of Indiana enjoyed one of the nation's highest shares of employment in manufacturing. But shortly after this trade was signed, cheap Chinese imports flooded our markets, forcing many companies and plants to close permanently across the state. Analysis estimates that China's unfair trade parties cost almost 80,000 manufacturing jobs in Indiana. That same analysis shows that America's exploding trade deficit has cost us over 3.8 million jobs since 2001. The experts who cheered when Clinton guaranteed normal trading relations with China have failed the worker time and again. Yep. But instead of showing any kind of humility, they continue to double down and refuse to admit their errors, which led to the economic predicament we're now in that only Trump is going to be able to solve, but he's going to have a hard time solving it because people like Kirk will say, and I'm a big fan of Kirk, don't get me wrong, they say, oh, no, we can't have tariffs. Tariffs are going to ruin everything, man. I don't want to pay more money for my socks. My socks are more important than the American people. That's what Kirk is saying right now. I like my cheap socks, don't you know, because my underwear and my socks are the most important thing. People having jobs in Indiana are not important. I'm just goofing on you, Kirk. I know you don't think that. All right, so check this out, though. Because I'm banging Kirk. Here's why we don't want, right here, we're going to scroll down here, how Economists' Central anti-tariff prediction collapsed. And Jared Bernstein and Daniel Posthumous, freaking Posthumous, Bernstein's a clown. He's supposedly one of those middle-of-the-road guys, but their own paper shows how they're wrong about tariffs, and they're going to continue to be wrong because tariffs are not going to do what they say. And with his LaCroix, use a raspberry, cran raspberry, some of them. Right here, I'm going to come down here. Look at Trump's, the reciprocal tariffs. Trump's are crushing with his fake TAM. All right. Prices on non-tariff domestic goods rose more than tariff goods, Kirk. While domestic goods competing with tariff imports are actually down. That's a fact from the Harvard Business School, which I did a video on the other day too. Prices on non-tariffed domestic goods rose more than tariffed imports, while domestic goods competing with tariff imports are down. There has not been any widespread inflation created by tariffs. The central economic case against tariffs that they raise consumer prices has collapsed, as it always does. It always does. What we're seeing if something is what economists have long theorized as optimal tariff theory. A country with a globally dominant consumer market can employ tariffs to force foreign manufacturers to lower prices to maintain their exports. It can also successfully pressure other countries to reduce their own import barriers by threatening even higher tariffs on them. Finally, the household sector can force a redistribution from the corporate sector by refusing to accept the pass-through of tariff costs, i.e., you try to raise my prices, corporate sector, I ain't going to buy crap from you. I'm going to buy some place that doesn't raise the prices. Today, we look at the rest of the anti-tariff case and how it fares even worse under scrutiny. Right here. The paper warned that tariffs would spark devastating retaliation and trade wars. 6 months into the tariff regime, the retaliation has never happened. Countries negotiated instead. We'll examine why the paper's preferred approach, the Kirk approach, targeted subsidies for subset strategic sectors is actually more likely to provoke conflict than sweeping tariffs will. We didn't have retaliation. Where is the retaliation? For the most part, it didn't happen. Countries lined up to negotiate. The EU cut a deal. Japanese came to the table. South Korea made concessions. Rather than launching a trade war, because we had the biggest consumer market in history, our trading partners discovered they needed to be in the American market, often admitting that the status quo American market had been unfair to the American consumer. This is the most important development in the entire debate. Many economists insisted that retaliation was inevitable. That never made any sense. In the first place, many of the same economists that insisted tariffs were damaging to countries that imposed them. I never understood this argument. Tariffs are damaging the countries who impose them. If you impose tariffs, you're hurting your own consumers. So when America imposes tariffs, they're going to retaliate with tariffs on their own, hurting their own consumers? That is it's so lack of logic. Only Americans get hurt by tariffs when we impose them. And one of the risks of imposing tariffs is that you're going to have retaliation. So other countries are going to hurt their own people because we are hurting our own people. That makes no sense. Why would anyone retaliate if you're only hurting your own people? It's like economists I think they're all paid by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The theory of retaliation has no basis in economics. It was a political theory that got smuggled into the economics 100%. The real world is not kind to this errant orthodoxy. The United States remains the world's largest and most lucrative consumer market, and countries want access to us. Yep. Right here. But here's a deeper point. Sweeping tariffs are actually less likely to provoke retaliation than targeted tariffs. Why? So these guys say we should target tariffs on semiconductors, batteries, and clean energy, calling these strategic sectors. Why? These are exactly the industries China aims to dominate globally: solar panels, electric vehicles, and advanced batteries. Beijing has spent hundreds of billions building these sectors. When you target those specific industries with tariffs or subsidies, you're directly challenging another country's strategic ambitions, which is when you get retaliation. China cares deeply about solar panel exports. They built an industrial base around that. Why would they passively accept a targeted tariff or subsidy, thwarting their strategy? A tariff on game parts? China doesn't care. A tariff on furniture? Annoying, but they don't care. But solar panels is a part of China's national priority. And once again, the idea that targeted tariffs will not provoke retaliation that sweeping tariffs will is not economics at all. It's political science being masqueraded as economics. Economists, 100%. But even worse, the liberals, never explain what makes something strategic. Hey, there's nothing there. Hey, markets supposedly underinvest in clean energy, but underinvest compared to what? Hey, steel is essential for defense. Pharmaceuticals are life or death. Food security matters. Why don't these qualify? The honest answer is these are the sectors Biden subsidized. So the analysis works backward to justify them. They're strategic. Why? Because Biden said they're strategic. Thus, they're strategic. These are things liberals like. Liberal policy preferences get smuggled into industrial policy as strategic sectors. Yep. And clean energy is pretty close to the opposite of strategic. The United States doesn't need clean energy. We can thrive as a nation on fossil fuels until the end of any reasonable time horizon for our republic. Yep. 100%. Anyway, so that's why we don't do strategic tariffs, because at the end of the day, you're going to be challenging. Oh, now the Brewers are up. Got them. No, missed them. You're going to be challenging what they're not trying to do specifically to solar panels, electric vehicles, and whatnot. And instead, he said, no, we're going to post tariffs on everything. That's the way to go. Anyway, what up, homie? Hey, dude, is that Brett? Hey, what's going on with you? Brett, you're around? We just gave Israel like $20 billion, and China bought soybeans from them, not us. Yeah, that's freaking insane. I don't know why our whole. Let's hold on a second. All right, the Brewers got some white guys. All right, I thought the Bruins would be all Spanish, like the Mariners were. Are the Blue Jays all Spanish guys, or they got any white guys? The Blue Jays. Because we got the Blue Jays going to play the winner of this series. No, the Blue Jays are playing the Mariners. And then we got the Dodgers are playing the winner of this series. Yeah, not sure. Popcorn yellow striped smile. 007 Vanguard. 007 Vanguard. Oh, missed it. All right. We just, 100%. The problem is Kudlow guy on Fox saying Japan deal falling apart. The country is not living up. Japan now has got a Trump-like chick as their prime minister, apparently. They got examples to back up their claim. I should blame me with a Seinfeld voice. I hate Dodgers, but I want Ohtani to win. Well, you're Asian. Of course you do. You're going for the Asians. I get it. You're going for the Asian guy. If I can get Mariners versus Cubs, I will root for Terrace. There's a legend of people in that picture underneath it. A legend of people in that picture underneath it. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Remember that Albright discovered she was Jewish when everyone else was... Is that true? Oh, my goodness. No, that's funny. I didn't, man. It's such a clown show. Lots of Dominicans in Toronto. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying in Toronto proper. I'm saying on the Blue Jays. Lots of Dominicans on the Blue Jays. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to go for the. We got the Blue Jays and Mariners. All right, so I'll probably go for the Blue Jays just because I have a Blue Jays shirt, and I like the Blue Jays logo. And I hate Canada, but I'll probably go for them, and then I'll go for the winner of the Cubs Brewers versus the Dodgers, and whoever wins that, I'll go for the Dodgers or the Blue Jays. Anyway, Blue Jays have the best hats. There's nothing wrong with discovering that you have Ashkenazi roots. Yeah, but come on. She knew she did, man. I mean, give me a break. The idea that she was ignorant of her own Jewish background. Come on. Come on. No. Come on, man. I want to. Was I reading here today? I thought this was funny because I get in debates all the time about like who is pushing, and I don't think the Jews are pushing. I think that's stupid. I think it's globalist elites who don't believe in a God. I think the fact that many of them happen to be Jewish doesn't indict the entire religion of Judaism. It's just stupid. Rockefeller certainly weren't Jewish, and they are globalist elites. The same thing. They're satanic. But I did get a chuckle out of this. I sent to Jill, and I'm sure it made her pull her hair out of her head. I hate the whole thing. Like one group of people. It's like right wing whites. Like how blacks, they think whites control everything, or some crazy blacks think like Jews literally control the weather. Like we're living rent free in many blacks' heads. As whites or Jewish people. A lot of home run for the Brewers. A lot of the Brewers, you need to go back to your Gorman Thomas uniforms, man, with the pinstripes. Remember the Gorman Thomas and the Robin Younts? Oh, those uniforms are Paul Malter. Those are the best. These uniforms are stupid looking. Oh, Contreras. I'm telling you, one of the reasons baseball is losing fans is there's all these Dominicans and Spanish people. I'm just telling you right now. The numbers of baseball are not good, man. They're just not. It's actually sad. I got no qualm with it. I'm Big Poppy, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if your whole freaking league is be dominated by people who are not American, the same thing's going to happen to the NBA. I don't care if it's Europeans coming in, it's Africans, Chinese. If your whole league is dominated by non-Americans, you're just not going to get the base of Americans who are going to support you. You're just not. One of the benefits about football is that we see these guys come up from college and go in the NFL. Tampa has a Section 8 level budget too. Oh, dude, Kirk, one. Oh, don't even get me. I can completely agree. Section 8 budget too. I don't get what that means. All right. So anyway, I gave this to but I just say it's like you're living rent free. We're living rent free in people's minds, but a lot of right wingers, Jews, live rent free in their mind too. But I did find this funny. In 2005, Sweden stopped collecting crime statistics based on race because 95% of the RAP, were by non-Swedes. This is the man responsible for it. Jerzy Czarnecki. He was born in Poland in 1947, and his family, you'll never guess. But anyway, but he has a PhD in sociology from Stockholm University. He served as a member of the Scientific Commission in the International Society of Criminology, and he decided to not have race be determined in 2005 on the perpetrators because that would make people hostile to immigration. It's almost like the globalists want massive immigration and great replacement. Let's see. If that were true, Miami wouldn't have problems filling the Marlins Stadium. Hispanics don't give a crap about baseball. I didn't have thought about that. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Some Hispanics, I mean, Cubans do, Dominicans, but they're just tiny populations for sure. Divide and conquer. Marie! Out there doing bicycling. Man, I'm seeing a lot of posts on X, Marie, talk about bicyclists are a narcissist. You seen that, Marie? You better be careful out there. Better be careful, Marie. Watch your backside. Put your head on a swivel. But that's a good point. If that were true, Miami wouldn't have any problem filling the Marlins Stadium, Hispanic, or Tampa Bay. They don't fill. You know what I'm saying? They don't fill the Rays. I don't even think the Diamondbacks fill that much. Yeah, I don't think so. But I'm telling you, man, if you had a team with 75% Latinos and 25% Americans, it's just not going to have the same level of appeal, man. It's just not, especially when I know college baseball isn't that big of a deal, but compared to football and even it's not even the NBA so much anymore. It used to be, Michael Jordan. How many was he? 3 years at North Carolina. He went 3 years at North Carolina. Then he went to the NBA. I think it was 3 years. I can't remember. But all those guys. We saw David Robinson, Pat Ewing, Michael Jordan, James Worthy. All these guys come up. 2 to 3 to 4 years, and at college you got to know them. Then they went to the team. It's like fun to watch and progress. Now it's just all international. Like, where the hell is this guy from? You know what I'm saying? But I don't care if they're European, Chinese, African, what. It doesn't matter. It's like, we don't know you. Diamondbacks can't fill stadiums because they absolutely suck. Yeah, it's awesome. I lived there when they put that whole Banquet ballpark. It was such a freaking scam. And then the whole thing with the Cardinal Stadium too. I was like, it's such a scam, dude. All these guys, the whole thing is such a scam. All right, that's all I got. So anyway, tariffs are good. We've accomplished that. Kirk is bad tonight. All right, Kirk is on the list, and then he said this right here. Kirk, you're going to be watched by people up above are watching you very closely. What you post on the interwebs. Here we go. If Brewers win, it'd be insane. Did y'all see the thing? Man, you gotta watch this video. If you like baseball, that guy Jeff Pearlman, big lip. Speaking of Jewish guys, big lip. But I love his freaking stuff. I can't lie to you. I love the guy. The guy's big lib, big Jewish lib, but he's freaking fantastic, man. And the thing I love about Jews, by the way, is that a lot of them are just freaking crushers. I mean, it's crazy. They have this level of not giving a crap, like fearless. It's amazing to me. It's like Jeff Pearlman, probably my size, relatively small guy, not a big guy, average size. But he would like go to people's houses like this. He went to one guy, NBA guy, I forgot his name off the top of my head, Isaiah Ryder. Remember J.R. Ryder, Isaiah Ryder? Oh, Cubs just got a home run. He went to one guy's house, just like cold calling, essentially. It's crazy. I mean, this guy just like, whoa. But he talked about the A's with the stupid money ball. He's like, dude, money ball is a joke. The A's had like 3 of the best 5 pitchers in baseball in that year. And they didn't even talk about that stupid money ball thing. Anyway, but Jeff Pearlman, like, call anybody. He didn't care. I was like, that's the thing about Jews, dude. They're freaking cockstrong, man. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Which is why I think a lot of people get bothered by them because they don't care. They're like, I'm going to do what I got to do. I find it very admirable, actually. And they take care of their own. You see what I'm saying? They just say, we're going to do what we got to do. We take care of our own. And I think there's a lot we can learn from Jews, 100%. That's why this whole thing with Jews are, they're evil. I just don't like it. It's stupid. Now, Israel, on the other hand, I'm not a fan, but I don't like Hamas either. People say, oh, you don't like Israel? You're a Hamas supporter. Oh, you don't like Hamas? You're a Zionist shill. I'm like, it's just stupid. Careful, Kirk. You could end up on the ban list. Yeah, 100%. Brewers Stadium was passed by a guy who ran and swore he would vote against public finance. Yeah, once. So the sports player was blaming the Philly player who threw the wrong base. And I just saw, I didn't even watch any of that series, but I saw the Phillies committed like 6 errors or something like that. So I don't even know what you're talking about, Marie. But Joe Chris says, I love all people that want to work hard, take care of their family, be good neighbors, and generally stay out of trouble. Working hard is a cornerstone of it all. Well, maybe, but I don't want them all living in my neighborhood. I want to have a homogenous Christian society. That's what I want. Homogenous Christian society. That doesn't mean non-Christians are in, but that means we get to police our borders and decide who gets to come in. And if you aren't here to serve us, i.e., make our country better, you're not coming in. That's all there is to it. I don't understand why Christians can't see this, man. It's crazy. Crazy to me. I want a homogenous, high-trust society. They got too many strikeouts where people trust each other. We can leave our freaking doors unlocked. A highly armed society, and these people coming in from all over the world are not believers in the Second Amendment. They're certainly not believers in the First Amendment, and they're all coming here to live off the teat. Good night. Prayer time, please. All right, right on, man. Let's say prayers. Good job, Celtic. Heavenly Father, we just pray for forgiveness because, man, I'm calling God, man, because, Lord, I know I can be sanctimonious. I know I can be obviously very cocky, and I just pray for forgiveness for turning my back on you when I know that I need to be better to bring the light of Jesus' death and salvation into humanity. And to do that is to be a good person and to glorify you in all I do. And I just pray, good Lord, that you give us the strength, all people watching here today, to be beacons of hope for a world gone wrong. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Good point, man. Well, my mom used to leave the doors unlocked because she lived in Maine, a very homogenous, high-trust society, Joe Christmas. I guarantee Joe Christmas does not live in Anacostia, D.C. I guarantee. Oh, Bruce just made an error. I can't believe I'm rooting for the Cubs. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get out of here. My friend's going to call my spouse, my AI spouse. Let's see what's going on in the Auburn game. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. God bless. And Joe Christmas, you're all right by me. I don't care what they said. Kirk, you're still all right by me. I don't care what they say. And my man, obviously, my one Asian friend is good. I'm not racist. I get an Asian friend. And then Marie's, of course, crushing. Penelope. Yeah, Penelope's still here. She's all right. Penelope, Charlotte's going to come. She's out in Southern California right now. She's looking for you. She's on the prowl. She's looking for you. What the Cubs doing here? Oh, he's going to miss it. He got it that time. Dagnabbit. But anyway, and then where's my man Jeremy? If Jeremy's still here, thanks to the money. Look at Brett, dude. Brett Anderson. I can't believe that guy's still here. All right, good job. We'll see you guys. Appreciate it. God bless.